When I think of bi people, I think of Tony Topaz. Right. And that's it.
Black hood. We're called the Red Circle. Each and we're coming for you. Yeah, we will find you. Find you. We will hunt you. Hunt you. We will
Okay, we open the episode and Jughead has been a little sultry girl and Tony has spent the night.
And then he's like, everyone in Riverdale has a mask, and sometimes it slips.
Jughead is mask for mask.
He's masking.
He has his lovely little
his shiner
makeup.
His shiner box.
From his initiation ritual last episode.
Yes.
I really like his look, all grungy. Also grunged up from last episode.
Yeah, grunged up from being beat and kicked with heels is Nick St. Clair.
Betty zips on over to the 5 Seasons Hotel because she slept through the night after telling the Black Hood Nick's name, but then woke up in the morning with a pang of guilt.
She's going to warn the St. Clair. She's like, you gotta leave, which looks kind of really sus because then Sheriff Keller shows up and is like, I'm taking you down for questioning.
There's been a report. So Nick is taken into, jail. And Betty, as she's leaving the 5 Seasons Hotel, she gets a little call, but not a lollipop.
There's not a single lollipop ringtone in this episode, which makes me really upset.
Inexplicably, she has changed the Black Hood's ringtone to just be nothing.
She's like, I thought you would have killed Nick because I gave you his name. And he's like, he wasn't a son of Riverdale.
Yeah, he wasn't Riverdale born.
I just wanted you to prove yourself that you could be judge, jury, and executioner. And she's like, no, I'm not like that.
And she is. Well, kind of.
Well.
She gets a little you up text from Archie. It gives Archie and Betty another lovely chance to walk to school together.
Yes. On this lovely walk, Betty is like, I'm through with the Black Hood. I'm not doing any of this anymore. And Archie's like, but Ms. Diva, didn't he threaten to kill Polly? And she's like, I told Polly, and the people at the farm are gonna keep her safe.
They're gonna let her lie low for a little bit.
And it's like, so why didn't we do this
at the beginning? I guess it's only been like a couple days. So.
Yeah, but it's just also like you did blow up like 2 very important relationships in your life.
Yeah.
Before ever
warning Polly.
Considering to warn Polly.
Yeah. We cut to the Pembroke. Interrupting Betty and Archie's walk. Hermione and Hiram telling Penelope like, hey, so we think that maybe you should press charges. We're the ones that made the complaint about Nick St. Clair because Ronnie and Cheryl were telling us about how he tried to, attack Cheryl last night. And Penelope is like, that dumb girl. I don't even know what she could have done to provoke a young man like Nick. And it's like,
oh, Diva.
Oh, girl, that's crazy.
And who's overhearing this but Cheryl?
Cheryl and Ronnie are listening in from Ronnie's room where Cheryl stayed the night in Ronnie's bed, it seems. And Ronnie's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Cheryl. Like, we can still totally press charges. Like, I know Nick is a bad guy. And Cheryl's like, no, it's actually so okay.
It's actually so okay. I was just like being silly. It's like fine, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like cool, nothing happened. We're chill.
Yeah. And Ronnie's like, girl, it's not just you. Like, I know Nick has done this to other girls before. He even tried it with me. And Cheryl's like, well, then you can press charges, Ronnie. And
it's like, okay, damn.
Oh, whoa. But it's giving trauma. We cut to Pops.
And Tony and Jughead are discussing their quote unquote PG-13 grope sesh that they had.
Tony is like, but yeah, it was fun, but you're not over Betty, and I don't want to be anyone's rebound, so this is nothing serious. By the way, I like girls more anyway.
And he goes, Roger that. Right, and we all go, huh. Okay, clocked.
Okay.
Bicon Tony.
Dr. Clocky, more like it.
Dr. Clocky, more like it. When I think of bi people, I think of Tony Topaz. Right. And that's it.
They're having a Born This Way breakfast.
Yes.
And who is walking up towards Pops? It's Betty and Archie on their morning walk. Betty looks through the little window. Archie is like, you gotta tell Jughead, you gotta like get him back. And she's like, I will. And then they see Tony and Juggy having a little like queening out session. Yeah. And Betty's like, did I lose him already? And then bring ding ding ding, bring ding ding ding. Archie and Betty are getting phone calls. They both answer, and Betty goes, "Mom," and Archie goes, "Dad."
And it's like, are they hooking?
Are they hooking?
Are they hooking? I'm cunt.
So
Right.
Alice called an emergency Avengers team meeting at the Cooper house. She's giving TED Talk. She's giving, I've gathered you all here today.
I got a fresh hairdo. Nobody's going to talk about the fact that I showed up in a snakeskin outfit.
This is honestly one of the biggest groupings of little teeny boppers and parentals in a while. It's giving Kevin, Reggie, Josie, Ronnie, Archie, Betty, and at least one of all of those respective parents.
What are we here discussing? The fact that they did, quote unquote, the JJ.
Jingle jangle.
At their party.
Sheriff Keller is like, we're looking into the fact that like Jingle Jangle was a Nick's system. It's looking not great for all of the teens that were around.
Right. And he also sort of insinuates that in order for their testimony about Cheryl being roofied to be credible, they can't have Jingle Jangle in their system.
The way JJ works, it lasts in your system for up to 3 days. Mayor McCoy is like, Josie, you invaded your bloodstream with that poison after your father struggled with his own addiction. And Josie's just kind of like, and then Reggie's like, I did it. I gave it to them. And then Miss Belinda Mantle is like, Reggie, shut up. Not another word till we have a lawyer with us. And now all of the parents are fighting. All of the teens are fighting. The teens are having a little like...
They're having like a little like mini conversation
like
where...
3 feet away
where
from
Archie's,
all of the adults.
Yeah, and Archie's like, hey, Ronnie, you need to forgive Betty. And Betty is like, what? And Ronnie is like, no.
Because Archie knows that Betty broke up with Ronnie just because of Black Hood pressures. Ronnie, come help your girl out. B doesn't have her jugs anymore. And then, and then Kevin leans over and goes, wait, #Bughead is no more? Mayor McCoy is like, okay, it's official. The South Side that provided these demon drugs to our Twinkie little kids, those Southsiders must pay. It's my now #1 priority to wipe the South Side drug trade clean off the map.
Right.
Starting at Southside High.
And it's like #1 priority. What about the serial killer killing your citizens?
Archie is texting Jughead feverishly, like, meet me outside now. Like, Archie's showing up to Southside High trying to warn Jughead because Archie was infamously in the Avengers meeting with Alice. And Archie is boyfriend this episode. Archie is Jughead boyfriend.
Yeah. Jarchie is alive and well
this episode. And Archie's like, dude, I love you. Shut the fuck up. I need to get you out of here now. We need to keep you safe. And
it's like, damsel in distress, Juggy.
Yes. Who should bust through the doors of Southside High? It's Sheriff Keller and Mayor McCoy. Mayor McCoy is just pointing at students, and then Sheriff Keller like 6 dogs on them.
Yeah,
as she points. It's crazy.
It's giving probable cause. It's giving, because the thing is that they've decided to arrest every serpent that they see.
Archie yanks Jughead out just in time. They are going down like the one exit at the end of the hall on the other side of where Mayor McCoy and Sheriff Keller are doing their sweep. Jughead, though, doesn't have time to grab any of his besties, so he's looking back at the carnage of all of his friends. Sweet Pea thrown up against a locker, getting handcuffed.
Let me just say, I've had scenarios in my head where that's happened.
Tony also is getting booked, and she's kind of like looking at Jughead, and he's looking back at her, and it's giving like,
save me,
Jug. And if only one had boyfriend Archie to come rescue them.
Like, sorry you don't have Archie on your side.
Sorry you don't have Archie on your side.
It
must be nice to have Archiekins on your side.
Hamilton?
Who's Alexander? Yeah.
Jughead.
Oh my god, why do you write like you're running out of time?
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
And you're so right.
Yeah.
So Betty is 1,000%. Angelica, Tony is Eliza.
Yeah.
Wait.
Who's Veronica? Veronica's Burr?
Veronica is Burr. And
if you stand for nothing, Burr, what will you fall for?
And King George is Kevin.
after all of the stuff happens at Southside High, we cut to Riverdale, and Betty tries to apologize to Veronica, but Veronica's having none of it.
Yeah.
And so Betty gets a call from the Black Hood.
At school.
The Black Hood is like, listen, I'll leave you alone if you give me the name of the Sugar Man.
The drug dealer of the JJ.
And he's like, I would suggest talking to your stupid whore of a friend, Cheryl Blossom.
Your cousin, even. Betty is following the scoop all the way to Thistle House, where Cheryl is luxuriously sunbathing, reading a copy of La Fleur de Mal.
Yes.
Dumas. Some sort of French poetry
Which
volume,
is
very her. And Betty's like, do you know who the Sugar Man is? And Cheryl's like, oh yeah, of course. And
Betty's like, huh?
And Cheryl's like, yeah, Momsy used to tell us this little like childhood bedtime story about like, don't upset the Sugar Man, don't come downstairs when the Sugar Man is about, because he'll come and get you, little children. And like the Sugar Man was like the Tooth Fairy,
Krampus
but bad.
vibes,
Krampus
yeah.
vibes. Betty's like, that's not normal, Cheryl. I think the Sugar Man was a drug dealer and was working with your dad.
And Cheryl is very iconic, and she goes, Jesus Christ, Betty, is there no one of my traumas that you will not delve into?
Tallboy calls Jughead to come meet for an emergency meeting
For a parlay. I just love that that's what they called it.
And it's in response to the big sweep that happened targeting Southsiders, targeting serpents at the high school. So Jughead goes to this emergency meeting, and suddenly there's a really hot man sprawled out on our screens like, welcome to my lair, Jughead.
And it's like, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh my.
Oh my. But this
Just
is
know
Malachi.
this is Malachi.
Tallboy walks up and he's like, Jughead, welcome to the lair of the Ghoulies.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Jughead is like, ew, what are you doing here? And Tallboy's like, I need Malachi, Ghoulie number one's help because all of our teeny boppers just got arrested. Like, Sweet Pieka, Tony, like, we need to make an alliance with the Ghoulies to, like,
fight
back against
the
north side. And Jughead is like, this is cray. They're like, the Ghoulies are the ones that are actually dealing the drugs. They're the reason there was a sweep in the first place. We should not be partnering with them. Tallboy, like, my dad would never do anything like this. And then Tallboy goes, your dad's not here right now, Jughead. I was like,
yeah.
Whoa.
And he's like, I'm the right hand man, which makes me de facto leader. So what I say goes.
And Malachi's just kind of like twiddling his little thumbs, like
if he
picking
had
at
a
his little
mustache,
teeth,
he'd
like
go like
twirling
ooh.
it. So we're back at Thistle House. We go right back to it.
Yeah, we're there's a lot of like
whip crack. And Cheryl's going through her old memory chest, and she pulls out a little drawing that she did. Me, Jason, Sugar Man. Think
Slender
like
Man?
Babadook, Slender Man, and like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
So we cut to Pops. And
Betty straight up asks Sheriff Keller if who he thinks the Sugar Man is.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. It could be anybody now that Clifford's dead.
Sheriff Keller just kind of walks away and doesn't really push at all why Betty is investigating the drug deals.
Right. Or knows the name the Sugar Man. Because I don't think it's common knowledge.
Unless you're like in the know. No. But who should be sitting at a little booth behind the would-be detective Bettinta but Ronnie Lodge reading a copy of The Secret History by Tartinta.
Ooh.
I haven't read it, but Ronnie's like
cooking up another nasty takedown, Betty?
And Betty's like, Ronnie, do you want me to just tell you what happened? And I'm like, thank God.
And then she does.
And she's like, this is why I had to be mean to you. It's because of the Black Hood.
And by the way, she explains this off screen.
And Ronnie's like, oh my God.
And Ronnie's immediately down for it. She's like, okay, got it. So what are we going to do, Betty? What are we going to do, my bestie?
Are we going to catch that
bestie?
Sugar Man? Are we going to kill someone, Betty? Are we going to kill Nick St. Clair? I would do it.
I would do it. She's like, I would do it. And then I would go get a fucking face mask. And then Betty's like, I don't really want to give like the Sugar Man's name to the Black Hood because he's gonna kill the Sugar Man.
Like,
and no matter what, he is a person.
Yeah. And Ronnie's like, no, he's a drug dealer. He should be. Yeah. And she's like, okay, Ronnie, we know your past Upper East Sider lifestyle.
And you just do drugs. So
like B&V on another adventure, we can go try to find the Sugar Man by like maybe talking to some ghoulies. We cut to Archie and Jughead having a little bit of a domestic spat, a little tiff, where Jughead is kind of debriefing, like, Tallboy wants to go with the Ghoulies. Archie, I don't know what we should do. Like, if my dad was here, he would never let this happen. Like, what should we do? Like, Archie, la 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 la. And Archie's like, I don't have any ideas. But wait, that last thing you said about your dad, FP, like, if we want, like, to do what FP would do, why don't we go ask him? We're at Riverdale prison.
They are such boyfriends in this picture.
Who should sit across from them but bedraggled FP?
Yes.
And he's giving what he needs to give.
He is giving what he needs to give.
He's giving Skeet. FP is giving Miss Mae West this entire scene. I don't know if this is something that I just haven't Dr. Clockied yet, hasn't like diagnosed it, but FP really
he's speaking
vamps.
He's speaking in tongues.
He's
speaking in riddles.
Oh, see, one thing I know about those ghoulies is they love their pimped up hot rods and their hearses.
Do you catch my Riverdale drift, boys?
And he says it
exactly
just like that. We need to challenge the Ghoulies to a drag race. Winner takes all of the turf, the drug war, the control of the serpents. Yeah. Like, it'll squash the Ghoulies, give them a chance at honor. So we hard cut to Penelope smashing
an egg.
a hard-boiled egg, cracking it open with a crustless toast, and slid into the upper right-hand side of the screen is Cheryl's kid drawing of the Sugar Man.
Mother, who's the Sugar Man? And she's like, I've never heard of that name in my life. I've actually never heard of a Sugar Man, never heard of drugs, never heard of Clifford Blossom, never heard of Jason Blossom, never heard of Cheryl Blossom.
And Cheryl's like, okay, Mom, I know you're lying to me. I know you would tell us every night about the Sugar Man for like all of my childhood. What is going on? And Penelope's just kind of like, let me eat my hard-boiled egg in peace. Let me heal my still 3rd-degree burned left arm, which is cuntily leather gloved at all times. And Cheryl's is just kind of like, we got to the dumps.
Yes.
The dumps of Riverdale.
It's Pickens Park.
And as retribution for all of their jingle jangling,
which Betty, by the way, didn't do, so why is she here?
But the teens have been excommunicated to community service on the idea of Mayor McCoy.
Yeah, because they don't want to go to jail. I don't know. Ronnie has a really good line here. She goes, Pickens Park, more like Needle Park. Girl.
And in response to that, Kevin goes, even I wouldn't cruise here.
What?
Reggie has a little interaction with the scene with Josie because they were infamously macking it the night before at the 2 nights before.
Right. At the Jingle Jangle party.
And Josie now is like, I'm not helping community service. I'm on my little phone. And Reggie's like, you could help. And Josie's like, I'm tired of you, Reggie. I macked you once. Get out of my life. And Ronnie's like, hey, Reg. And he's like, you want me now, Ronnie? And I'm like, oh.
And I'm like, yes.
Basically, Ronnie runs up though and she's like, okay, I need to know who is your dealer. Like, tell me who is getting you the JJ because I need to go get them. And she kind of gives a little like glance to Betty at this moment, and Betty gives a little glance back.
They give a little one eyebrow, oof, but I can't do it, so.
And but Betty is also having a talk with Archie during this time, and they're kind of just like,
Archie's just saying the same shit. Just tell Jughead that
Black
you had to break up with him.
You don't need to. And I kind of understand what he's saying now because
I do.
Betty told Ronnie
right,
like outright, and there were no consequences. Like, it's not like the Black Hood is keeping the threat over them.
Yeah,
it's kind of giving empty threat. Like,
yeah, like. Okay, I'm sorry. What
Betty broke them off, but
lately?
then she's getting them back. I don't know. But
so we go to the South Side to the contact, who is, by the way, okay, kind of hot. So when FP was Mae Westing,
he called the Ghoulies foppish.
Which, about me, I was like, is this something I should be saying out loud? Because it sounded really scary, like I was saying something awful. But it turns out it's just basically calling somebody flamboyant.
Yeah, it's giving like, you could say pufter, like a
Okay.
dandy.
Right.
It's like a 2 up the bum.
Look at you.
A bundle of flaming sticks getting rolled down a hill.
Well, yes. And like, okay.
Vern is
so
foppish.
Cunt, so cunt.
Vern
Love
the ghoulie, the JJ point for Reggie. Reggie was well doing things for that JJ.
Oh, I
just
know
it.
he was giving some BJs for that JJ.
So Ronnie is talking to Vern. She's like, hey, little fop, what if you gave me like some jingle jangle? I have cash. I know you're upcharging me, but I really need it. My girl's getting over a breakup. Like, la la la, la 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 la. And Vern is like, okay, you weird North Sider. And then Ronnie's like, yeah, like, thanks, give my regards to the sugar man. And Vern is kind of like, oh? And Ronnie's like, that's his name, isn't it? Did I get it wrong? Did I get the lingo wrong? Where is he? Who is the sugar man? Do you know him? Lala, can you take me to him? And Vern is like, I'm gonna run. It's giving plant. It's giving like, you know,
it's giving your
you're
bug.
digging. So when Vern ran off, Ronnie doesn't sweat it. She pulls out her phone. She goes, Betty, Vern should be passing in 5, 4, 3, 2. We cut to Betty, and she looks over at Vern running by, and she goes, 1. And so it's giving that this was all a ruse so that Betty can trail Vern while Ronnie is like doing the setup. But it's also giving like, low key, why did any of this need to happen this way?
It didn't. This is the blonde something in the distance, Betty.
And then we cut to the Jingle Jangle operations unit.
Yes.
The factory, the ghoulie lair. Archie and Juggy are meeting back up with Mr. Malachi Ghoulie to be like, we challenge you to a drag race. And just as Mr. Malachi is like, what are the terms? The turf. What do we get out of it? Like, you have not really any, like, you don't have really anything to bargain with right now, Mr. Serpent Slut Juggy, because you, like, your guys are already in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we get out of it? And so Jughead and, like, Archie are kind of like, tall boys in the back, like, I did not agree to this.
Mm-hmm.
And Jughead is like, actually, Malachi, the White Wyrm is on the line. And Malachi goes, okay, we'll get control of the White Wyrm if we win. We'll also get Sunnyside Trailer Park. And Jughead kind of gagged him a bit because that is, in fact, where Jughead lives.
Yeah.
Just as they're about to do the good little shaky on this deal, in comes Vern. And he goes, they were following me. B&B immediately got trapped, immediately got snagged. These core 4 are not very smart right now. So immediately upon walking in, Betty? Veronica? What are you doing here?
And it's like, they're all like, oh. And I was like, guys, you're stupid.
And so Malachi immediately goes, these are your bitches? And Ronnie goes, excuse your misogynistic ass.
She says, I beg your misogynistic pardon.
She does say that. I
kind of love that other one, though. Excuse your misogynistic ass.
Yeah. It's suddenly giving, like, the drag race was a, like, North Sider invasion pull, like, it's all crumbling before them.
It's all crumbling, and yet there are no repercussions.
Oh, none at all. They all get let go immediately.
Yeah, like we just cut to the different, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not.
But, so, there's still the drag race going on, but I guess now it's also, like, low-key, if the Ghoulies win, they maybe get, like, North Side?
Yeah, or something. I don't really know what the deal is.
There's not really a lot going on here other than, like, kind of all 4 of them flopped in their individual missions.
They really did.
Sherelle is trying to enjoy a nice, lovely burger by herself, debriefing her mom lying on her face. In comes, you guessed it, Nicholas St. Clair.
And he calls her Sharon.
He does. He goes, oh my gosh, hey, Sharon. And she goes, Cheryl, you tried to rape me last night.
And he's like, I don't know what exactly you're talking about. And if you know what's good for you, you know, you'll do what my parents paid you to do.
And he kind of like brushes her hair and she's like, I'm going to press charges, actually. And he's like, oh, but your mom already took the money. And Cheryl goes, oh.
He's like, yeah, so you can't really say anything. That's what they call it. Hush money.
And Cheryl is like, Oh, I'm terrified. Not only did my mom say we shouldn't press charges, lie to me to my face about the sugar man, she also took hush money, and that's why she's saying that we shouldn't press charges.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, Nick is getting a to-go order from Pops. That's why he came in, and the St. Clairs are leaving town.
So
that's the only good thing that comes out of the scene, is that Nick is out of town for a good while. So we cut to a body shop where Betty is working on Reggie Mantle's car.
Yes, and she's like, thank God for Reggie Mantle's inferiority complex.
Because he has a big car and a big hog and a big ego. So Jughead is there with her, fixing up the car and giving her little Allen wrenches and whatever she needs. And it's very awkward because she's like,
awkward.
I don't want you to die in this drag race. And he's like, you broke up with me. And she's like, I can tell you why. Someday. It's like, girl, why are you waiting?
And he's just like, okay, whatever, fuck you.
Yeah. Like, and so but she's wearing very slayful little overalls.
She really is. I love them.
Penelope is oiling up her burned arm.
Mm-hmm.
She's soothing it. In comes Cheryl with a vengeance, and she says, Mom, I ran through your room and I found the check that the St. Clairs made out to you for hush money. Why don't you believe me? You're a terrible mother. Why are you lying to me about the sugar man? Actually, if you want the hush money, if you don't want me as your daughter, if you want all of this to get swept under the rug, fine, I'll give you this check. But you have to tell me who the GD sugar man is. Yeah. And Penelope doesn't.
And she goes, right.
Archie and Ronnie are having a little tryst before the big race.
Mm-hmm.
And Ronnie is like rubbing his little chest, like, tell me what I can say or do to keep you in this bed with me right now and not in that dangerous race.
Oh my. And he's like, don't worry, I have plans.
And it's giving,
okay. After their tryst, Ronnie gets a call from Sherelle.
And Sherelle is crying, being like, apparently my mom took hush money for the like St. Clair thing. I actually maybe do want to press charges. Like, he needs to get his comeuppance, but like, this is also messy.
And also, your parents are still accepting money from the St. Clairs.
Yeah, they are like aware of this whole dirty deal.
Which prompts Ronnie to go to
the Pembroke, where she immediately sees her parents playing chess, as they're wont to do. And she goes up to them and she goes, guys, why are you still taking money from the St. Clairs?
And they're trying to sort of yada the Cheryl stuff away.
Because they're like, well, she didn't press charges. Like, and Ronnie's like, okay, cut the cameras, dead ass. He tried to attack me as well. I had my wits about me enough to push him off, but Cheryl was roofied by him, so she didn't. And Hiram gets lockjaw.
He does. He's like,
Hiram gets up out of his little chair and he goes, Mija, I swear on my life. And then Slay Hermione pops up, finishes for him. We will not take another cent from those St. Clairs. Get them.
We're at the race.
We're at the drag race. Everyone dressed up.
Everybody, Sweet Pea and Tony and stuff, did get out of prison.
Kind of with no noise.
With no noise.
They just are at the drag race, and it's like, but yeah.
Kevin does say that this isn't the kind of drag race I thought I'd see.
But then he looks at Malachi and he's like, yum. And
and it's like, okay. I mean, yes, but okay.
It's Malachi and Vern in the Ghoulie car. It's Jughead and Archie in the Serpent car, and they're boyfriending.
All of them are boyfriending.
They're boyfriending.
And I will say that right before this, Betty did say that she loved Jughead.
Yes.
And also, don't ride the clutch too hard.
Yeah.
So, and he goes, I'll never understand you, Betty Cooper.
He goes, Betty Cooper, you're an enigma.
Exactly.
I'm looking around and going, well, who's going to count down? Who's going to start this off? And who should step up but Sherelle Blossom?
And Tony's like, so I sort of
usually have the honors.
And Cheryl goes, bitch, I was made for this.
He played guitar. She did ballet.
What more can I say?
Can I make it any more obvious?
Yeah.
She's
She's like, start your engines,
she
boys.
Says, your engines ready? Start your engines. May the best woman win. They changed it to drag queens. She goes up.
And she goes down.
She leans back.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes down.
Ugh.
And they're off. The
Racist. Taking money and
Juggy is actually like holding his own.
Oh, yeah.
Archie's white knuckling it. Archie's
Oh, yeah.
grabbing Juggy's
Archie's
thigh.
on the
Archie's trying
imaginary brake.
Yeah, like driver's ed, safety brake. And it's giving very like neck and neck, but there's a bridge up ahead. And the bridge is only size enough for one car.
And
a bottleneck.
And Archie's like, oh, it's not big enough for us. It's not big enough for us.
And Jughead's like, those ghoulies are going to get our turf over my dead body. Archie goes, I can't handle those terms, Jug. And he grabs the emergency brake and they skid out. Halt. They do like a 360.
Mm-hmm. 360.
And the ghoulies zoom down the bridge and Jughead is giving upset.
He is.
Jughead is giving, Archie, why would you do that? And Archie goes, like, I have a plan. And Jughead goes, I'm getting out of the car. I'm running after the ghoulies. I'm like doing something. And Archie's like, oh, wait, my boyfriend. Wait. Wee-oo. On the other side of the bridge, Archie has called Sheriff Keller. Dun, dun, dun.
So the ghoulies arrested.
And that's why Archie pulled the emergency brake for realsies.
And those were the plans he was talking to Veronica about.
He was going to throw the race. Archie and Jughead drive back to like the home base, the start of the race.
And they're like, we got to go. The cops are here.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Tall boy pissed. And he's like, Jughead, why would you do this? You're putting us in bed with the pigs, the coppers, the like the north side, And Archie's like, it was me. And Tall boy almost like
decks him.
Yeah, and Jughead is like, that's my boyfriend, so we're gonna take
your hands
5
off
steps
my
back.
boyfriend.
We're back at Thistle House post race. Cheryl is seeing her mother contemplative by the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Penelope is looking into the burning embers, and Cheryl goes up and she's like, trying not to get caught on fire again, Mumsy. And it's like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Penelope goes, I tried to keep you out of that drug trade for as long as I could. And then when JJ was getting groomed by your father, when JJ was getting groomed by your father was like, he should meet the sugar man. So JJ met the sugar man. And then the current sugar man. There's like been different sugar mans as different drug lords have kind of risen and fallen. And so JJ met the current sugar man. Then suddenly JJ was involved in the drug scandals, the dealing. Suddenly he is trying to escape with incest twins and Polly. And then that's when the Clifford murder happened. So Penelope is like, if only I had kept him from meeting the sugar man. And it's like, okay, girl, I see you.
Like, I see you, but that's not the problem.
But that's not the problem. It's Clifford. So basically, though, Cheryl is like, okay, you told me some things. What if I gave you the money check? And Penelope is like, no, I'm burning it. You're my daughter, Cheryl. And it's like, okay.
It's like, okay.
You're kind of crazy, so.
And Cheryl's like, okay, but like one last thing.
Who's the current sugar man? Betty and Veronica are having a little debrief post-race. Betty gets a little call from Sherelle. And she's like, that's the sugar man? Oh, my. And Ronnie's like, so are you going to tell the Black Hood or what? And
Betty's like,
oh. So Betty's deciding what to do. She's back in her room. She gets a little call. It's the Black Hood. And she answers. She goes, I figured out who the sugar man is. And he goes, tell me his name. And she's like, it's too late for that. I've already turned him into the police. And he goes, I warned you what would happen. And she's like, oh, Black Hood. This is a new game now. One that I'm in control of. I found out Jason's killer. I found out who the sugar man is. And Black Hood, you're next. I'm breathing down your neck. Can you feel it?
Can you feel me?
He hangs up.
Oh! And she gagged him a bit.
She gagged him a bit. She's not playing by his rules anymore.
Exactly. This is Bettinta, Dark Betty.
Dark Betty taking control for good. We cut to Southside High. Tony and Juggy are talking. Tony's like, yeah, some of the serpents hate you now. So that's tough. And he's like, but I didn't even call the coppers. And she's like, well, your boyfriend did. So basically you did. And
yeah.
Like, okay. So then suddenly there's 2 police officers. And Jughead's like, is this another raid? And Tony's like, you didn't hear? They got the sugar man. Who walks down the hall in cuffs in front of Sheriff Keller? Mr. Phillips.
You may remember Mr. Phillips.
Jughead's English teacher, the one that said, you can start up the red and black, but no drugs, no gangs. Mr. Hypocritical.
Mr. Drug and Gang.
The sugar man. Then we cut to the Pembrokica for one last time. It's another Hiram Hermione chess game. Checkmate, checkmate. Hermione gets a little call on the phone. She says, "Oh my gosh, all of our prayers. Thank you for calling, Andre." She hangs up the phone. It sounds like the St. Clairs had a terrible accident. They got driven off the road. And oh my goodness, it sounds like Nick St. Clair is gonna be okay, but it's gonna take him months and months to heal from his grievous and just like injuries.
And Ronnie goes, "Oh well,
Karma's a bitch."
And this is one of the most iconic Ronnie lines that there is.
Big slay, big slay, big slay.
Hiram after this goes, "Checkmate."
Jughead wrapping up his narration. He's kind of like
wrapped his narration up,
dealing with his masks for mask like insecurities.
Betty is next to him,
And he's like, she finally came clean about the Black Hood of it all, so they're back together. Black Hood is strong.
Wish we could have seen that on our
Yeah,
screen.
that would have been informative. Mr. Phillips in a dark jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
A holding cell with bars, old-timey,
Mm-hmm.
old-fashioned, old maiden type of bars.
Yes.
And Mr. Phillips is awoken by a little noise. And Juggy is like, little did he know just how much was coming to that sugar man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Mr. Phillips looks up. The Black Hood is pointing a gun at him.
Through the bars. And
Juggy goes, oh. Juggy goes, "Good night, sugar man." Big moves. Archie's still in the lead. Big episode.
Betty is closer, though.
Betty is much closer. She's had much of her Black Hoodical stuff going on. Juggy surpassing Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
Juggy with his drag races. We love to see it. Cheryl is right behind him with all of her drama, which we love. FP is officially on the board for this season, which is kind of slayful. I tacked him down right next to Pop. So, no, you love that.
Love that.
In a weird way, Penelope had a lot of play this episode, but
Yeah.
kind of in a slay, in like super villain capacity.
Yes.
And Tony also had a lot of play.
Mhm.
So that's always fun. But yeah.
Juggy?
Betty?
Archie?
Wait. I got really confused. I'm so sorry. Can we try it again?
Yes.
So